Hello, this is DarkElf85 on YouTube. Oh no, or HektontheMage's on PSN. I'm sorry. And this is Shadowrun Hong Kong Extended Edition. I hope you're doing much better than me. No. Yeah. Um, I just realized I did not brush my teeth, so I could have gotten a tea. I bought some more. I just went out a moment ago to get some more bottled water and tea. What I should be doing is cleaning out the filter, the purifier that my friend gave me before he left for the States, but I've been lazy. Same as I've been lazy to move the boxes he gave me to put them in above my closet, wardrobe, whatever. Not sure where I'm going to put the bubble wrap. That's the issue. I don't know where that bubble wrap's going because it's quite a bit. I mean, it's not as much as he had before. Because I bought the bubble wrap for him when he was packing. But yeah, it's still a lot for my place that's like full of crap. Even if I didn't have stuff full of crap, I don't know where I would put it, is the thing. But, US American bank account to tell, because apparently I didn't see the other messages, but I had to call them because I noticed, I mentioned this earlier that something was up, and I thought it was my yearly, hey, I'm living and working in South Korea, please allow me to use my card. Actually, there was merit to this message, not just that reminder. Someone was using my card number multiple times and apparently doing fraudulent charges. This has happened like once or twice before. I think maybe it was one time, and I was confused. Yeah, like a couple of charges went through. One actually had a payment that went through. And yeah, I had to deal with that. And I'm getting a new, thanks, F you, PlayStation. And or internet or both, because you both suck. No, anyway, no, yeah, I had to claim those as fraudulent and get a new credit card. Or not credit card, debit card. So that was fun. So now I'm going to have to change everything once I get it. They're going to actually mail it to my apartment here in South Korea. I'm like, whoa, that's priority mail, no charge for me, 4 to 5 days. Let's see if that actually works. Everything else from USA takes forever and a day to go by mail. So let's see if priority mail does anything better. On that note, my debit card was linked to my Nintendo Switch for renewing my yearly subscription for things. So I won't be renewed on my birthday anymore. Right now it's canceled until I get my card. So I mean, that kind of sucks. So that was a great birthday present. Not one I really wanted. And by great, I'm obviously being sarcastic because that's bullshit. But yeah, it was like weird charges. There's something from some. I was thinking, wait, maybe it was Amazon. I mean, this is what sucks when it comes to charges on your. When you look up online or whatever, they don't give a good description unless it was like a check. Then they actually show the check. So it's like, he was like, have you heard of this place? I'm like, and of course, it might be 8 a.m. Central Standard Time for my bank account, or bank, who I'm talking with, but it's freaking 10 p.m. my time of the same day. And so I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think I got anything beauty. No, not recently. Was it Amazon? No, wait. No. Amazon and the prices didn't match anyway. And I'm like, wait, no, Amazon. I used my Korean debit card. Oh my God. Yeah. So it was a fun time last night. And then I screwed up because I thought I couldn't log into the bank account when I was trying to see what he was telling me. Whatever they're called, I can't think right now. It's not the operator, but you know, the customer service representative. And so I was like, okay, yeah. I can't log in, and then that was due for me being just dumb because I'm tired and I can't log in and I can't multitask when I talk, as you see right now, me not moving around on the game. And so yeah, that was my mistake. But like, and then of course and then I'm calling on my cell phone and I'm doing long distance, which is a pain in the butt because I'm gonna have to get some charges there, and I don't like doing that. And also, my bank account has a stupid, you know, automated crap thing in the beginning. Oh, you can speak. Well, if I don't know what I'm wanting and you're not giving me a menu, and why isn't there one that just says for talk to a customer representative? Oh, I need more information. No, you don't. Just give me a customer representative. Oh, you could say one of these options. Banking. Okay, what are you looking for? I'm like, no, I just need customer representative in banking. I will tell them what I want because you are a stupid automated AI script of crap. And I'm like, yeah. So that happened, and my gaming PC is screwed up, and I'm gonna have to get that fixed again. I'm not really liking Windows a whole lot. Desktop. Or, well, more importantly, I'm not really happy about a custom PC job done from Seoul. Because this shouldn't be like this. When I think custom done, a custom built PC, I would have thought that would be lasting a lot longer than you know, like a whatever major company group, but apparently not, since when did I get this computer? 2019? In a 3-year time span, it's screwed up 2 times now, and then that means I have to take it to the repair place, and it's a tower. You know how annoying that is to move a tower when you don't have a vehicle? Incredibly bothersome, especially when taxi drivers don't like coming to my university. That's a pain in the ass. Yeah. But I have to get that fixed at some point, and hopefully, I don't even know this time what is wrong. I really don't. It didn't seem like, I don't know if it's a hard drive issue again, or it's some other type of software issue. I just don't know. And I don't know anything enough with PCs. I can't change things out on my own. I don't know. I'm not going to look that crap up because I'm probably going to fuck it up. I cleaned it, which I was lazy in doing. So I'm like, it can't be after I cleaned it. It should work better if I cleaned it. And so, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but it's annoying. I wish... the last time that I was able to have it work after it like rebooted a few times, I should have did some data transferring just to be on the safe side, but I didn't. And if it is something that really, really crashed, that means I'm going to have to buy another Windows operating system. I think I'm just going to do it. Just have the LibreOffice on the PC, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll just open it up with that and for stuff, because I use the gaming PC also for like if I have to do work in my apartment, even though I don't like it. I mean, I have obviously my MacBook Pro with me, but I mean, you know, nice screen, and of course for gaming and other stuff. But anywho, we won't deal with that right now. Did I already talk with him? I don't remember. No, I think I just came back after whatever and got my money. Yeah, okay, whatever. The cabin is silent aside from the occasional swish of air as Gaichu steps through sword forms. He holds each stance for a few seconds, practicing a given swing a few times before switching to the next. Hello, Lore. A single bead of sweat rolls down Gaichu's temple as he holds his position. After a few moments, he shifts to a relaxed stance, stirring the form again. Pardon me for continuing my exercises. I feel that I have been letting them slip of late. You worried you're getting rusty? No, that is not quite it. Rather, I wish to learn to bring my enhanced strength and speed to bear. In order to do so, I must ensure that my blindness does not hinder me. Perfect band. Diamond-coated edge, capable of cutting even the most hardened ceramic armors. But what good is a sharpened edge without the precision to apply it? When I was still a man, I could have cut a single pea in half with my eyes closed. Oddly, after becoming blind, I cannot replicate this feat. Running the back of a claw along the blade's surface, Gaichu smiles thinly. I think soon I will be able to perform this feat again. I simply have to train my body to ignore the senses that it no longer has, and pay attention to the new ones. Now, what is it that you would like to discuss? Any thoughts about the last round that you went on? I'm not certain what insights I could grant you. I was not present for that mission, so my understanding of it is purely secondhand. Is there anything else I can... Oh no, placing his sword off to one side, Gaichu turns to face you. Emptiness is a form, is one of the greatest lessons of the Hagakure. Train sufficiently, and both swordsmanship and obedience will come train sufficiently, and both swordsmanship and obedience will come instinctively. Thank you. I've had to figure that one out. Shouldn't have been that difficult, but my mind, meh. That is the closest to perfection a man can attain. I don't put a whole lot of stock in being obedient. Does that mean that in a perfect world you would have killed yourself when you got infected? Wow! Both of these suck ass! What is wrong with the... Why, game? Why? Second one. If an order should be unjust or foolish, it should not be followed. To waste a skilled warrior, as they would have by killing me, it is unacceptable. Obedience without the thought is to be cultivated, but so is the mortal fortitude of to know when to disagree. When I was new to the unit, I thought that to be a good samurai was the ultimate goal, that to serve justly with dedication was the greatest honor a warrior could have. We were all young and foolish once, I suppose. There's probably a place for that kind of obedience somewhere. That kind of ideology only serves the powerful. So what changed your mind? Let's be personal. Beyond my disease, there was a fight in Fukuoka. My former team ambushed me. It had that singular effect on my worldview. It had a singular effect. We were taught that we were superior to everyone, that since we were pure humans and Japanese, we would always win. What? Okay. I believe that most never question the validity of this claim, even when confronted with direct evidence of to the contrary. Even though you're probably not going to tell me because it's been only a run. Tell me about what your old unit. Tell me about when your old unit ambushed you. Very well. Okay, that works. Gaichu draws his nails over his scalp, sighing. My time in Fukuoka was tense. Since leaving Kianshin, That's totally not right. I had been careful to stay out of sight by moving on foot on the back of automated delivery vans in the dead of night while it was snowing, and I was running out of food, however, and needed to be in a city for that. Fukuoka is just big enough to get lost in, but not so large that a ghoul sighting could go unnoticed. I don't know how big it's supposed to be in this game's timeline. I know people, when I visited Fukuoka, people were like, it's not big. I'm like, may not be. I think it isn't. Is it 1 million? I thought it was under 1 million people. But hey, they've got multiple subway lines, so it's pretty nice. Although I only was on one major one. The other one might have been a train line. I don't know. But yeah, I'm just like, it's big enough for me. It's so crazy trying to plan your routes out because there's so many different subway lines because of the different Yakuza and other members of whoever in Tokyo vying for the different positions. Like literally every section can be a different operator for a line. I'm just like, what the fuck? It doesn't make any sense. Anyhow. And I'm not joking about that. That is true. Look it up. Anywho. I lost my place because I sidetracked myself. Let's see. Ghoul sitting. Oh, okay, unnoticed. I hid in abandoned buildings and storm drainage systems, and for 2 weeks I managed to stay hidden. The strain of having to constantly move was wearing on me, however. I made a mistake. What happened? I had to get out of Japan, but all of my contacts in Fukuoka had come up empty-handed when I asked for a way to China. I was running low on money, and I could feel them catching up with me. A contact of mine in Kumamoto owed me a favor and arranged passage for me if I could reach the city in 48 hours. Gaichu closes his eyes, resting his face in one palm. If I had taken my time, I could have made it to Kumamoto without incident, but I let caution slip when I got his email. I thought that if I could disguise myself, I could take the train there, get out before my unit got any closer to finding me. The fact that he can do all of this while blind. Like, how would you know if someone is like, it's a ghoul, without saying anything? It's pretty impressive in my opinion. Oh, don't mind me pausing for a moment. I'm just trying to get another thing to light up incense stick. Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. Did vanilla, now I'm doing sandalwood. Wish I could find these again, but they don't have them at Daiso anymore. I bought these like, I don't know how many years ago. Just never used them. Excuse me. Okay. Turn that off. Turn that off, that doesn't make any sense. Let's see. I still don't know how they found me. Magical tracking, perhaps? Or simply a well-developed spy network. Regardless, they found me. They were waiting for me at Hakata Station. Oh, I know that place. It was an ambush. That's a very public place for an ambush. It is. I suspected their orders were clear. However, samurai, ordinary laws do not apply. The mission's success is the only concern. How is that possible? Is Rinraku mega corporation, whatever, run by like the biggest Yakuza group, because what the fuck? It just doesn't make any sense. Because they are supposed to be like the military of the Renraku, which in itself doesn't make any sense, but you know. And then again, the corporations in Hong Kong in this game run the government, I guess. But yeah, it just, I had taken steps to disguise myself as best as I could, relying on the sheer number of people to conceal my presence. I suspected that the team might attack while I was in public, but I did not realize just how expendable the civilians were. When they blew the C4 charges over the station's western entrance just to box me in, I realized how much I had underestimated them. It's so fucked up. I assumed that a train had derailed, honestly, but then I smelled the telltale acrid vapor of the explosives. Gaichu wrinkles his nose at the memory. Once you smell it, you never forget it. The plastic explosive that we used has a particularly sharp odor, like old cheese, something to do with an olfactory tangent added to help track if it is stolen. I remember stumbling through the dust and debris, trying to find my way to the rail platforms. They attacked me from all sides, using the confusion to strike at once. I could hear Ishida and Takagawa behind me. Aomori and Sasaki charged it out of an access corridor, just ahead of where I had been standing. Sasaki threw a firewall down behind me, cutting off retreat, while Aomori started firing. Sounds like you didn't have much choice but to defend yourself. Gaichu nods, lips pursed. Yes, that is so. Training took over. I knew I had to survive, and I was not thinking of anything but survival. So I charged Sasaki and Aomori. Why am I screwing up in his name? They were only 15 meters away from me. The only advantage I had was that they were as blinded by the dust as I was, but I could still hear and smell them. Sasaki threw a lightning bolt at me, but I managed to roll under it. Things that you can't do in normal gameplay of this game. As I came up, Aomori's light machine gun was swiveling down. See, that's the thing that I always find interesting when it comes to like games, especially RPGs. Like, no matter how much you do certain things or build certain things in the world, when you do certain things there are certain things that just won't follow game mechanics. You know, oh, this person's actually dead. You can't throw a freaking life potion on him or her or something to that equivalent. Yeah, no, that's not how the story works. Or, you know, or in this case, he can dodge magic. Well, I mean, you can kind of dodge some magic, but like, you know, I guess in this case, it's just being more descriptive flavor for how he's dodging magic. But, you know, a lot of things like that, it's just like, I don't know. The death one, though, that's a big thing. But anywho, whatever. Let's see, I felt time stretch out as I stared down the barrel. I caught Aomori in the throat with the tip of my sword. It was a maneuver I'd practiced hundreds of times before. There was no resistance as I cut through his trachea, and he fell as I rolled to the side. I could hear him choking for breath as he dropped. Gaichu exhales a humorless laugh and shakes his head. It's strange to think how clear that memory is, even now. He was your friend. That kind of thing will stick with you. When the adrenaline is pumping, you form memories with more clarity. What's done is done. You survive. That's what matters. The first one. Gaichu snorts, waving a hand dismissively. Oh, stop it, Gaichu. Spare me the Tun Nguyen psychiatry. Obviously what you say is true, but the memory sticks with me so strongly for another reason. It was in that strike that I realized who I truly was. My whole time with the Red Samurai, I had focused on ensuring that I was worthy of the team. Everyone felt that way, but I felt it more acutely than most. I've always wanted to be the best, the fastest, the most precise. Yes, the greatest Pokemon that ever was. We get it. In the Red Samurai, I felt that to be less than perfect would be to let the team down. We were always told how lucky we were to have been accepted into the unit, and to have no other real family members, life of any sort other than this. Yeah. The moment my sword struck Aomori, I knew that I would survive the fight. They attacked me as they would an animal. They seemed to be counting on hurting me into Takagawa and Ishida. Aomori didn't even try to get out of the way of my sword strike. Interesting. I recall his eyes going wide. Wait, how? Were you not fully blind yet? I thought you were blind. How would you recall his eyes going wide? I don't understand how blind is he? Maybe he's not fully blind, but legally. I don't really know. I don't get it. I don't get it. He looked surprised that I was using a weapon and not my claws. They underestimated you. Gaichu nods sharply. They thought they were fighting a beast. I would never have underestimated them as they did me. All the lessons I taught them about close combat, thrown out the window as soon as their preconceptions entered the battlefield. Disgraceful. As I killed Aomori, I realized that it was not that I was unworthy of the Red Samurai, but that they were unworthy of me. What did it mean that I, an infected monster that was less than a beast, could still defeat the finest soldiers in the world? Red Samurai doctrine taught Aomori and the others not to fear me, and this overconfidence would be their death. I realized I had progressed beyond their ability to understand. My sword was as accurate as ever, but they could not account for it due to ideological blindness. And that's the danger of letting ideology overrule facts. You think becoming a ghoul made you a better warrior? Other units would have made that mistake. Yeah. That's the danger of letting ideology overrule facts. Precisely. All those years, I was worried I was not good enough to be a member of the Red Samurai. That somehow they had been pulling my weight. But I had been blind to all of the ways in which we were not training, or had avoided the harsh truths about our own abilities. We were so often told of our excellence that I wondered if we had ever truly been tested. Sasaki was the next to fall. As I turned away from Aomori, I realized she must have seen me strike him. Her eyes were wide. Again, questioning. And I could feel her fear and anger as she tried to summon another spell. She seemed caught between healing Aomori and attacking me. Now, technically, she should be able to do both because of the amount of actions that she should be able to do in a round. There you go. Story mechanic, not game mechanic. Gaichu taps himself crap on you, right? I mean, yeah, I don't know. Okay. It was there on Sasaki. A downward stroke from Jordan's stance. She had hesitated just as Aomori had. I felt the breath go out of her, like someone had deflated a tire. Oh, okay, maybe I thought it was something that was marked on him, but no, never mind. She just slid down into a pile. I think she was trying to ask me how when I ran. What about Ishida and Takagawa? They're still alive. My goal was survival, not victory. Takagawa was too far away, and I did not see Ishida. I only smelled him, so I ran. The trains had been shut down due to the explosion, but as long as I could get out of Hakata Station, I knew I could escape. Let's see here. They did not follow me out into the city proper. From what I heard via the Matrix, the event was reported as a terrorist attack that was thwarted by brave Renraku soldiers. Gaichu snorts, lips curling downward. Brave, foolish soldiers. If you killed 2 of them, why are they still hunting you? What does perfecting yourself mean to you, anyway? That's all I need right now. If you killed 2 of them, why are they still hunting you? To finish the task. Gaichu does not answer immediately. He seems uneasy with the question, fidgeting with his fingers. I am unsure why that would make a difference. Can you explain what you are driving at? Anyway, the unit's down 3 members. Why not give up on you? So yourself is included in that 3, I guess. If you train with your unit so extensively, won't it be impossible to replace the one you killed? Ah, I see. I think your mistake is seeing this from a practical perspective. The problem is emotional, not mechanical. Folding his arms over his chest, Gaichu continues to explain. The nature of Red Samurai assignments is such that losses are generally 0, or the entire team. In those rare cases when Red Samurai teams suffer partial losses, the remnants of the impacted teams are shuffled together and undergo retraining. Sasaki and Aomori will undoubtedly be replaced. The problem is that I cannot be replaced. Simply put, I am not dead. Ordinarily, a missing Red Samurai would be considered dead for purposes of reorganizing teams, but Renraku knows precisely what has happened to me. What's more, my failure to do my duty reflects badly on the unit. Others will undoubtedly resist joining my former squad, as it has been tainted. A strange way to organize a military unit, not by an ideological standpoint. So until they kill you, nobody wants to join their club. Now I see why they don't want to stop hunting you. I want to say that's just because of my character, but I would normally pick the 3rd one. Gaichu nods his assessment. Yes, that is the case. They cannot move forward and rebuild the core of the unit unless I die, both because of their own expectations and the stain to their honor. Even if they accepted my decision, the rest of the Red Samurai would not. They have hunted me in Japan, Shanghai, and Beijing, and now I am certain they hunt me here in Hong Kong. The cycle will continue endlessly for the foreseeable future. Such is the way of things. Wouldn't it be easier if you faced them down rather than run? How do you mean? I have faced them several times in the past, in Fukuoka and in Shanghai. Unless you have a deeper meaning I'm unaware of, I've already done as you suggest. You're capable of striking back at them. Why aren't more of them dead? You're simply letting them come after you. Take the fight to them. One way or another, this will end with either you or them dead. You've got to take the action. Second one. Gaichu pulls back as if you've slapped him. What do you suggest? That I hunt them down while they sleep and murder them in cold blood? If you're as good as you claim, you should have been able to finish this by now. You define yourself by your opposition to your old life. I think sentimentality has left you unable to finish them off. Ah, yes, because I am such a weak-willed soldier of fortune that I cannot bear the idea of killing the last vestiges of my old life. His tone is mocking as he spits his next words. Certainly, that is more likely than the battle simply not going in my favor. It doesn't have to be a conscious decision. You're avoiding an all-or-nothing confrontation. So after killing Sasaki and Aomori, why didn't you finish the others on the team? I told you my goal was to survive, not to destroy the team. You insist on not remembering things that I have told you. You can be that things I have told you can be tiresome more. Except you said you faced them in Shanghai and in Beijing. Got you. That means only 2 members, unless they had other backup. So why couldn't you defeat the other 2? You've always chosen short-term survivor over ending the threat. You wouldn't treat any other enemy that way. Gaichu narrows his eyes, inhaling sharply through his nose. There is a long pause before he speaks. There is some truth to what you say. Were they members of an Ares Fire Watch team, I would have attempted to eliminate them some time ago. I seek to perfect myself, my skills, and my abilities in combat. Perhaps this is not the path I would have walked when I was younger, but I have been a soldier for so long that I cannot imagine devoting myself to another trade, or to any other trade. That does not mean I am tied to inextricably to my unit. It simply means I am shaped by my history, as are we all. I appreciate your concern about my history and my unit, but I assure you, I'm doing all right. I must learn to adapt to my new condition and lifestyle on my own. The time will come when they find me in Hong Kong. What does perfecting yourself mean to you anyway? I do not know. I am certain that sounds like an evasion, but it is not. There is no roadmap for being a ghoul who is also a freelance killer. I only know that my instincts are stronger now stronger than they were when I was an ordinary man. Now, are all ghouls blind or just him? Because I swear pretty sure the others that we met in Berlin weren't blind, but I could be completely wrong on that. Because of this, I must learn to make my own way in this world. There is no older teaching for me to reach for. Gaichu suddenly cocks his head. Is this why you are concerned about my history with the Red Samurai? It's hard to break old training, especially in times of crisis. I just want to make sure nobody comes getting for us while our attention is elsewhere. Of course, I want to make sure. I want you to make the most of your new life. I'm gonna be a friend. Gaichu blinks several minutes, his surprise evident. That is remarkably kind of you, Laura. Were this a year or more ago, I would not believe you. After having seen you handle the Wampoans, however, I do. I'm no longer simply a man. This is a fact of my life. I am beyond that. I do not know if I am better for it, but I know that I am different for it. The fact that I am different, however, cannot be denied. I put a question to you then. If you had been changed into a ghoul, what would you do? How would you improve yourself and learn to live with your condition? I wouldn't forget what it means to be human. I'd make the best use of my new abilities, change his power. I don't do that second one. That's what? That sounds more like what I was going to say a conservative old white man would say. Anyone with power would say, technically. So, yeah. I have no idea. That's a road I can't even consider. I've never been in your position. I would say the top one. Wouldn't forget what it means to be human. Same as if you were a vampire or anyone else or anything else. But I am not human, not any longer. To be a ghoul is to be as different from a human as it is to be a troll. More so, in fact, as trolls are closer to men than I am. Yes, but this is also a virus, so theoretically you are technically still human. It's a virus. So, just because certain parts of you change doesn't that doesn't negate the fact that you are technically still human. Same as those who are vampires in this line of thought. The changes are not only physical, as I mentioned before. My mind is more instinctive now, and reasoning is more difficult. I tend to react quickly without thought, but that also generally will turn the tide in my favor. Gaichu squares himself, nodding several times as if agreeing with his own internal dialogue. Yeah, he's trying to say that he's not human. I understand this. Warriors must learn to push their body and soul to their utmost limit. So too it is for me. But my body and soul are no longer that of a man. I must learn to use these differences as an advantage rather than a handicap. Perfection is not a destination. It is a journey. Yes, you've already said this, Gaichu. One must strive to become the purest form of oneself that one can be. So what will you do about your unit when they come looking for you in Hong Kong? I am unsure. You have given me a great deal to consider, and I do not mean that lightly. There are several actions and possible outcomes I foresee. I could, as I have before, relocate to another city, flee Hong Kong, travel to somewhere further afield. Lagos, perhaps, or Montreal. Those are two very different locations on the world map. But anyway, it would have to be some place where Renraku's influence was minimal, and where the unit's presence would be immediately noticeable. This has been my plan of action in the past. I could also keep a low profile, staying here. Hope that they are unable to find precisely where I am hiding. Undoubtedly, I'm itching my mustache and beard. Okay. Undoubtedly, Ishida would command the team to keep looking. I believe it would only at a time and place of my choosing. They are nothing if not predictable in their efforts to follow Red Samurai operational doctrine. That plan could succeed, but it could also put you and civilians at risk, and I am unsure how I would draw them out in the first place. You need to find a way to fight them. There's nothing wrong with hiding out. Bide your time and get out of Hong Kong after they get complacent. You need to find a way to fight them. Gaichu sighs, shoulders slumping a little. I am unsure if that is the wisest course of action. I'm going to need to think about this a great deal. Please, let me think on this. I will have an answer later. Sure thing. I'll talk to you later. Probably not what I wanted to tell him. I forgot what the steps needed, or if it's just time progression of dialogues for his side quest to pop up. I forget. So let's do a save because oh yeah, I remembered. I'm saving these points. I only have 1,110. Mother or Nuyen. Mother. That's shite. So small. I really am annoyed that I don't get as much money in this game as the other two. And I'm thinking that I'm not going to do the optional sleeping because that might be the mechanic that is partly what causes the game to progress. I'm not sure. And I think that's what I screwed myself with on my other save. Maybe? I don't really know. I just don't. Okay, Rector. Rector's shop is curiously silent. As you step down onto the graded metal floor, I wasn't stepping down, I was stepping across, but anywho. The sound of your own footsteps reverberates through the echo chamber of the converted engine room. Welcome back, my friend. He leans against his desk. Is there something that I can do for you? That's weird. Quiet night in the shop, huh? Care to pick up where we last left off? Any thoughts about that last run? I can only enjoy a social gathering as well. I can enjoy a social gathering as well as anyone else, but our client and our targets were contemptible people. Tridio programs soap operas, intellectually bankrupt, Sasserine, not Saccharine. Saccharine? Sasserine. Isn't Sasserine? I don't know offhand. Sweet family dramas without an ounce of inventiveness behind them. This pap that these fools produce is a poison for the mind. It's like reality TV shows, buddy. He takes a drag on his cigarette, blows the smoke in a plume. At least we had the encounter with the vampire to make things interesting. Now, what else would you have of me? Quiet night in the shop, huh? Yes, a quiet night. He takes a drag on his cigarette. One best suited for contemplation, planning, and visions of the future. Care to pick up where we left off? Where we left last time, whatever. His smile widens, light gleams off of strong, sharp teeth, lending him a predatory appearance. If you like. I must confess, I have rather enjoyed our talks. It is good to have a sounding board to bounce ideas off of. Sounding board, huh? That's what I am to you. Agreed, our talks. Kochi scuttles forward, mechanical petty pulps weaving. Its legs? I don't know. Its motions are as alien and charged with menace as they've ever been. Ractor glances at the machine and it takes a step back. He claps his hands together and rubs them briskly. So, my friend, you had questions for me? Go ahead and ask them, please. I will answer whatever I can. So you said that you sometimes forget how to interact with other people. An idiosyncrasy of mine, I suppose. When I get lost in my own head, relating to others becomes difficult. He smiles apologetically. It's nothing personal, just a quirk that I occasionally struggle to hide. I know the feeling. Sometimes I feel like a visitor from another planet, like I can barely remember how to talk. You're doing pretty good. You do a pretty good job of it. You're always been friendly with me. Well, then occasionally. You talk like a robot, Ractor. No, I do the middle one. Ah, but when you come down here, we talk about things that are relevant to my interests. That makes it easier. In any case, thank you. Your kindness is appreciated. Last time we talked, you hinted at Kochi being special in some way. I want to hear the full story. Yes, I had figured that you might. Tell me, have you noticed anything unusual about Kochi in the time that we have worked together? It feels like he acts without you ordering him to, like he's semi-autonomous, maybe. He seems to react to your moods. It's weird. He's almost more like an animal than he is a drone. He's creepy as hell, if that's what you mean. Oh, nothing. That I haven't attributed to clever programming and a slightly unhinged designer. Wow. Second one. He nods, his lips pursed. Yes, a good observation. Kochi's behavior could be described as animalistic, and for good reason. I'm waiting. The drone lowers itself, its killing legs splayed. Ractor looks up to the drone, his head cocked. Then he returns to his gaze to you. His behavior is not drone-like because he is not a drone. At least not in a way that you would understand. He is a prosthesis. Prosthesis? What is he meant to replace? He isn't meant to replace anything, but he does contain a portion of me, as surely as your brain sits within your skull. We are, in a way, a singular entity in two bodies, metal and flesh made one. Your drone isn't part of you, it's a machine that you control through your data. You're gonna have to explain that. Kochi acts as a home for my primal animal impulses. The id, to use Freud's structural model of the psyche. The analytical portions of my mind, the ego and superego, live on in me. They govern the id, and by extension, Kochi's behavior. Be one with the machine. When we're on a run and I rig into Kochi, I do not command him to attack. Rather, I loosen my grip on his reins, and allow him to kill. He wants to hunt, to dominate, to bathe himself in blood. Reproduction would also be a drive if such a thing were possible. Oh my gosh. So if you were killed, Kochi would, what, run amok? He chuckles. No, my friend, of course not. Kochi is not capable of storing any part of a human mind. He simply doesn't have the capacity for it. If I were to die, he would fall dormant, the same as any other drone. Wait, drones are connected through a neurological link? Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, I noticed that they stopped working. They just, I guess, explode if the operator gets killed, which is strange, but I guess that's how that works. One day, perhaps I will perfect him, and a part of me will live on in his chassis after the meat of my body dies. But for now, I'm satisfied to live with him as a combined entity, man and machine, joined through a form of neural parabiosis into a single being. A beautiful first step into a post-human future. He really does question if androids dream of electric sheep. I guess that if I have to know a mad scientist, I'm glad that he's on my side. This is weird, Actor, and probably dangerous. His smile widens. Okay, that's even worse, buddy. We live in dangerous times, my friend. Everybody on this boat is dangerous. But if my relationship with Kochi alarms you, you can discuss other matters. The weather, perhaps. The choice is yours. Okay, so you've rigged your drone to act as a home to your most destructive impulses. I've got to ask, why? Tell me why you think we're going to beat the essence limit. You hinted at it before, but I want to know. I think that I've heard enough for now. Let's talk about something else. Okay, so you've rigged your drone to act as a home to your most destructive impulses. I've got to ask, why? As a proof of concept, primarily. There are other advantages, of course. I shouldn't have to explain the value of a combat drone that wants to kill. Gosh. Let's see. Tell me why you think we're going to beat the essence limit. You hinted at it before, but I want to know. I could do that. I've already shared quite a lot with you, and you haven't run off screaming. A good sign, I should think. He studies your face, peering at you through the blue. But tell me, Lord, are you certain that you want to know? Some secrets are less pleasant than others. You might prefer to leave this stone unturned. I mean, personally, the race of humans are going to have a fall of destruction, and it's just a slow time building up because of the shit that we do. I mean, if that's not depressing for most people, I don't know what is. Anywho, let's see. I want to know whatever you have to tell me, Raptor. I don't run from things because they're unpleasant. I run from them if I'm, like, dying. So what do you have to say? I'm not sure that I want to know what you're going to tell me. Just forget about it! The first one, top one. Very good. There are things that you don't know about me, my friend. Important things. Please tell me this doesn't end with you hitting on me. Jesus. It's so homophobic, it's not even funny. What kind of things? For one, I am not, how to put it, whole. Emotionally, you mean? Mentally? There are arguments, I thought I said augments. There are arguments that could be made to support both of those positions. But no, that wasn't what I meant. I was talking about my physical body. There was an accident when I was young. A shop accident. I barely survived it. I'm very heavily cybered, my friend. You wouldn't know it because I keep my enhancements hidden. Others have found them disturbing in the past. Disturbing? How so? The enhancements themselves are not the problem. The extent of the damage that they were meant to correct, however, he sighs. That's a different matter. He uses the edge of his hand to trace a line across his hips. Everything below the mid-pelvis. What the heck's the mid-pelvis? Are we saying like the crotch? I mean, I don't know what mid-pelvis would be. I need to look. I need a human skeleton to examine this discussion. Anything below the mid-pelvis is replacement material. That's where I was sheared in half, you see. I don't know what mid-pelvis. I guess I don't. Well, no, the pelvis bone is a pretty big bone, now I think about it. So, yeah. It's a miracle that I survived the experience. The blood loss alone should have killed me. But here I am, alive and well, greatly improved in point of fact. So you can't reproduce. That's the implication right here. I don't want to do that. It's really awkward. You're saying that you're half machine. You are a cyborg. Yes. The loss of so much tissue was traumatic, to be sure, as was the damage to my sense of personal identity. But it isn't so terrible as you might imagine. By every conceivable measure, I have been improved since the time of the accident. I am more than I was before, not less. See, I forgot about this part. That's half of your body. How could that not be terrible? I'm not sure that I can imagine anything worse. I mean, this is obviously an ideological standpoint. Top one. He taps his temple with a finger. The doctors installed stimulus generators in my brain when they repaired me. With these, I can mimic the full range of sensations that the human body is capable of producing. Imagine the ramifications of such a thing. The things that you could do, the things that you could experience. The implications for operant conditioning alone are staggering. And so, yes, I have lost the entire lower half of my body. The full ramifications of such a loss are obvious. But in return, I have gained so much more. At will, I can goad my brain into producing whatever sensation I wish. Oh, that's interesting. I can poke at the wiring of my own consciousness, and I can reroute that wiring as I see fit. That sounds more like an AI. Alright, so you're half machine. What does this have to do with the essence limit? That kind of makes sense. Reactor beginning to creep me out. I'm not going to do that, no. He spreads his arms. Look at me, Laura. I have a shred of essence left in me, and only barely that, but I suffer none of the ill effects associated with traumatic essence loss. How can that be? A quirk of not being able to speak when you're tired. A quirk of psychology, long viewed as an illness but never properly understood. What I now understood to be an evolutionary adaptation to a post-human future. We will conquer the essence limit, given time. Natural selection will see to it, and I am the proof. These stimulus generators that you've been implanted with, how do they work? The technology is rather akin to SimSense, but such a weird name. But considerably more powerful and flexible. Most SimSense experiences, those found in BTL chips, for example, are structured around basic narratives that provide their senses with context. But if you strip away the veneer of escapist fantasy, you will have left. What you will have left is an extremely powerful toolkit. I've never heard of anything like that on the market, not even in the shadows. That I somehow was a whole lot part of after I was in prison? Well, maybe, I have no idea. And what have you done with this toolkit? You mentioned operant. If you try that, reprogramming yourself. This is the top one. I'm not surprised. They're Russian technology. Government funded and quite experimental. Okay, there we go, that's why. Oh! He sucks on his cigarette, a thoughtful expression on his face. The project was canceled shortly after I received my implants. That was right. I thought that said imprints. Or stated imprints. That's what I was going to say. I'm like, no, it's still implants. Something about graft and corruption on the administrative level. Yet another example of good science derailed by bad politics. Have you heard of anyone else who's gotten these implants? Any idea where I can get myself a set of those things? Why the fuck? No. I know of a handful of other recipients. From what I've heard, the others were all driven quite mad. To be handed control over the inner workings of one's own brain is a tremendous responsibility, he shrugs. Perhaps the others were less well equipped to handle it than I am. I think it's probably based on your mind or like how you're viewing things. Be careful with those things, Raptor. The last thing I need is you wigging out on me. Or maybe they've driven you insane too. Ever consider that possibility? Of course, considered it and rejected. The corner of his mouth curls into a wry smile. Granted, I could be wrong about that. Perhaps I am mad. But then, what would that say about you and your willingness to associate with me? All this stuff that you've told me about yourself. It's a lot to digest. So, what else have you been keeping from me? I know that there's more to the story than this. There is, my friend, but nothing that can't wait till tomorrow. You have a lot to process, I'm sure, and I would like the remainder of the evening to myself. But if you come back later, I will finish the tale. Sure, Raptor. We'll talk tomorrow. Very good. Rest well. I'm not going to sleep yet. That's... Fuck sleeping. We got... Give me up! I've got stuff to do. Alright. Gah! Alright, you and the whatever your computer thing's called. He's about half hums from Octopus, that's it. Half hums away from the Octopus's main display. She looks up at you, blinking. The memory stick that you acquired from Rhombus has already been slotted into one of the computer's many expansion ports. The cherry red plastic that sheaths the stick looks slick and wet in the console. You did good back there. The run went well. Her eyes flit down onto the memory stick. We got the stick, the key to my own memories. All I have to do now is slot it. we'll get back to that. Any thoughts about that last run? I have to admit, I had a lot more fun in Repulse Bay than I thought I would. Parties aren't really my thing, and I'd rather be slicing icy than cake. But how many people can say they went on a run to blackmail a rich guy and his vampire mistress? Nobody on Shadowlands would believe me if I told them the story. Not even a little, which is why I'm still going to do it. I don't get why Xinyang hired Shadowrunners, though. There are a dozen better ways to blackmail Ma. Get a decker to plant evidence of embezzling, hire the triads to crash his sets and intimidate his crew, burn down a sound stage or two. Burn down a sound stage. Not a... That's a noun. Noun, whatever. In a way, a type of compound noun, but not a compound noun. It's not really a adjective here. Not that type of sound. The way I figure it, he wanted to hire us because he's friends with Ma. It's a messed up friendship, but it's there. I never thought about that. Also, my throat. My voice and my throat. I will say, when I start giving midterms for the 2 weeks, I don't think I'm going to be playing on Wednesday night. And if I do play, it will probably be less than an hour. Just FYI, folks. That will be October 18th and the 26th. I think that's right. 19, 20, 25. 18 and the 18th and the 25th. Whatever. It's in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Three weeks. I can't do math, I swear. 19th and the 25th. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I don't know, whatever. It's coming. It's in 3 to 4 weeks. I think 3 weeks, actually. 3 weeks, yeah. I counting other wrong days. And I just told 2 classes today when their midterms are. But I was actually looking at something that shows it, and I'm not looking at my calendar right now because it's... Well, first of all, it's far away. Second of all, I forgot to change the one that's on my door. And I have the wrong month. It still says September, which needs to be changed. Let's see. Wong got fired, but you let Ku Feng hang around with Ma. I don't get it. It would have been pretty easy to chase her off and rob him of a major ally. I guess Shenyang got what he wanted, but if he goes toe-to-toe with Ma, I'm gonna bet on the guy with the vampire for a friend. Anything else you wanted to know? You haven't unlocked your old memories yet? No, not yet. I mean, I can. It'd be as simple as plugging myself in and tapping a key. My own memories are all mine if I want them. But you're not sure that you want them. She nods. That's about the shape of it. I'm feeling hesitant about this. It isn't easy, you know. Shifting organic memories into hardware storage, wiping the originals and locking them away for safekeeping. That's a corporate level mind sculpting. Serious business. And seriously fucked up. I'm just saying that. I mean, I understand, like, the benefits that could happen for it. There's a lot of cons that could happen probably while doing that. But it's a scary thing to think about. Like, literally, you're causing amnesia on things. That's like a magic spell in other fantasy, non-sci-fi fantasy stuff, yo. Which is something I'm thinking about toying, or that's something I'm toying about. Well, actually, not toying. Well, it isn't crossing. I never actually put it down in the story that I will probably never produce. Okay. So the process was difficult. What does that matter? Wow. That's not. I'm not that douchey. Locking the files away was important to you. I got that. I get that. I got it. No, I got that. I'm assuming that there is a point to all this. That's in the middle one. Very important. If it wasn't, I wouldn't have let an amateur tinker with my brain in the corner of a derelict shopping mall. Whatever got up there, I was desperate to get rid of it. Makes a girl wonder why. Tell me, Isabel. Would it have been easier for you to have Rhombus... why am I saying Rhombus again? Rhombus just wipe the memories altogether? None of this changes the fact that we just risked our lives to get you that key. If what's locked away... If what's locked away in there can help us, you need to bite the bullet and access it. No, I don't like the last one. Let's do the top one. She blinks. Yes, much easier. Still not without risk, but you didn't do that. You had to move the memories into storage. Why? There was a long pause. Because I knew that one day I might need them. And today is that day. You need information on the walled city, and whatever's locked away up there could help. Were you wrong about that? You tell me. So why are we even talking about this? You've made this decision twice already. Once when you had the memories moved into storage, and again when you took us on a run to get the key. I don't want to be douchey on those top and bottom. Some middle one. No, damn it. Of course I wasn't. But you don't have to be so glib about it. Glib about it. Well, that was the better option of all three of them, to be honest. Another long pause. Isabel stares at her feet, thinking. Finally, she looks back up to you. You're right. I know that. I knew it before we went to get the code. I just needed to talk through it with someone. Not Gobit. Someone who could take this situation seriously. I needed to talk through it with you. Well, now that you've had your pep talk, let's get this show on the road. Heh. Hey, that's what I'm here for. Glad to be of help. Without another word, she pulls a cable from a pile on the floor and slots it into her data jack. The other end disappears into one of the octopus's many brains. Her fingers fly across the octopus's keyboard, rattling off a series of audible clicks. Finally, her thumb hovers over the execute key. All right, Lore. Wish me luck. Oh, God. The key depresses with an audible click. Isabel's eyes flutter and her cheeks flush with blood. Oh, no. No. She starts shaking her head from side to side, wringing her hands. A progress bar on the octopus's auxiliary monitor slowly climbs. Oh, fuck. Yeah, we're not going to do the first option, because, no, that's bad. Oh, my thumb was actually on the X button, even subconsciously. No! Reaches to pull the plug connecting Isabel to the octopus. What's happening, Isabel? Are you okay? The progress bar climbs to 100. Isabel snatches the cable back out of the data jack and covers her eyes with her hands. She's shivering. It's her memories coming back. She clutches her temples in the palms of her hands. Now I remember why I didn't want these or didn't want these anymore. I remember choosing this one, I think, the last time, and oh my gosh, I think she gets pissed off at you no matter what. I don't want to say bad stuff. This is just as bad. Are you alright? No, I'm not alright. I'm the opposite of alright. She clutches at her skull and she's afraid it's going to crack open. There's a lot of bad stuff in here. Things that happened to friends of mine, to relatives, things that I watched happen. No, this is the one that I chose. That's really bad. Is there anything that I can do? Nothing comes to mind. Her voice is ragged, raw. These memories are crystal clear. It's like all of this shit happened yesterday. I can remember watching friends die, and I can see their screaming faces just as clearly as I did the day that it happened. It's like watching a Trid show, but it's my life, and it's real. I don't like either of these. Isabel, focus. I don't like either of these. Is there anything in there that can help us? She screws her eyes shut in concentration. Beads of sweat hang heavy on her brow. I think so, yes. It'll take time for me to again, why can't I say sift? I immediately want to say shift and then whatever other, yeah, it's just weird. Why it's hard for me to say that word. I don't know why. Sift is such is an interesting word, and I don't know why I screw it up. It'll take time for me to sift through all of this. She opens her eyes again, looks up at you. I'll hold on to these memories for as long as I can, hopefully long enough to reveal something useful. No promises beyond that, though. I'm not asking for promises, just do your best. She gives you a weak half smile. I always do. One thing that does jump out at me, Rhombus archived some software up here. She taps her temple with a fingernail. It's sitting on top of the memories, all wrapped up like a present. Don't know why he did it, but it looks like a combat package. Combat package, you say? She nods weakly. Some sort of basic attack modification. I'll have to study it to be sure, but I think that I can use it. This one worked out even better than I thought it would be. I thought it would. That's some good news. Yeah, it's all very exciting, but for now, just give me some space, okay? She turns away, shivering. Like I said, it's gonna take time for me to make sense of this stuff. I'll give you some space then. She waves you away. Good. Go, now. And on that note, I need to use the restroom. I also need to light up another, whatever it is, incense stick, and brush my teeth. So I will be right back, folks. Okay. Just double checking my controller's battery power. Ugh. Oh! I need more water. Alright, need more water. Because we have a lot more talking to do. Because why not? Let's see here. Well, I'm going to get this out. I just brushed my teeth, so it's not like I can get tea out anymore. Okie dokie. Artichoke. Go bit. Gobit looks up from you. I don't know. Gobit looks up from her hot plate. At the sound of your approach. A smile creases, not ceases. That's the opposite. A smile creases her face. She raises her eyebrows and gestures at the cabin around you. You know, the Defiance has really been shaping up over the past few days. With all of the work that we've been putting into her, she's starting to feel like a real home. Anyway, enough about the boat. She puts her hands on her hips, setting madness scurrying. Ready for your next lesson, or did you just want to chat? Is it too late to change the boat's name? I bet it's her who goes out and changes the tags, or she has the rats do it, which is kind of funny if you think about it. Any thoughts about that last run that you weren't on? You didn't bring me on our last run, so no, I don't have much to say, she shrugs. Nice to have a night off, I guess. So, what else did you want to chat about? I'm ready for my next lesson. Yeah? She smiles. That's good. I was hoping that you'd want to keep going with this. It's good for you, and I'm kind of enjoying it too. Gobert runs a hand through the knotted ropes of her hair, a contemplative look on her face. A moment later, she turns her attention back to you. All right, this is going to be another long story, so I'm thinking you should take it in chunks. If you've got any questions, you can ask them along the way, and if you need to take a break, we can come back to it. Sound good? Sure, sounds good. Good. So, last time, I told you about the event that brought an end to my illustrious career as a subcontractor. This time, I'm going to tell you about a run that I went on with my regular team. Nitro's team, you mean? Was this where you started running with Isabel? No. This was long before Iz hit the streets as a runner. We were friends and everything, but she was still learning to deck back then. She was good for her age, but she wasn't ready for prime time. You don't know anyone from the group that I'm talking about. They're all gone now, anyway. Wait, you lost 3 other teams before you hooked up with me? Wait, 3? Oh, yeah. No, don't say that. You got a rough career, haven't you? You've had a rough career. Sorry. Thanks, but it's alright. When you run the shadows, losing people is an occupational hazard. She offers you a lopsided smile. As Shadowrunners, we're disposable assets. Yay! Do. It shouldn't come as a surprise when we get used up and tossed away. You know, just like most social commentary on life. It was the same way in the Barrens. Here today, gone tomorrow. That's a little grim. Hey, nobody lives forever. Nobody wants to live forever. We all get flushed down the same chute in the end. To the top one. Yeah, you know how it is. People die, and it's sad, but there's no sense moping about it. tell me about the team that you were running with. How did you meet this group of yours? Let's take a break and come back to this later. No, how did you meet this group of yours? Through mutual friends. We actually all lived together before we decided to start running as a team. Wow, who would have thunk? There was this floating squatters commune out in Hung Hom Bay. It's probably still out there, actually. I haven't been back in a long time, but I spent a few years living on the thing, and the rest of the team lived there with me. Squatters commune? You lived on a what? A raft? Top one. She nods. Yep, we call it the sinking ship. It was like an enormous raft, all bolted together from old shipping containers. Wasn't the most comfortable place I've ever lived, but the price was right and the company was good. Let's see. Tell me about the team that you were running with. Sure. She extends a hand so that she can count off teammates on her fingers. Madness scurries down her sleeve and perches on her forearm. Jeez. Our muscle was a Hawaiian Jew with poor impulse control. Big, round guy with lumberjack arms and ringlets in his hair. He called himself Hanu. I guess that he loved turtles? I don't know. Street names are weird. We had a tech specialist, Urget. She was tall, gawky, dyed her hair bone white. She had a drone named Arlo that followed her around like a lost puppy. She was kind of a jack of all trades, but she could get the job done. Fun at parties, too. Our de facto team leader was a guy named Sui. He was a wiry troll, if you can imagine that. Yeah, this isn't, WoW or anything. No way. Probably about 2% body fat, all skin and bones. Let's see, walked with a hunch to make himself look smaller. He was a shaman, followed Rat, like me. Excuse me. Sounds like an interesting group of people. It was, but then everyone I've worked with has been interesting in his or her own way. As a rule, shadowrunning isn't a profession that attracts boring people. Although I bet it could. Okay, I think that I've got a grasp on the team dynamic. Keep going. I'd like to hear more about the sinking ship. Let's hold off on that for a little bit, okay? I'd like to get through the rest of the story before we spend any more time on the raft. If after your lesson's over, I'll tell you whatever you want to know about the commune, but for now, I'd rather not get sidetracked. Okay, I think I've got a grasp on the team dynamic. Keep going. She nods. All right, moving on. So one day, Sui brought us a job. He'd met a client in a Victoria Harbor bar, a rich Eastern Tiger executive. Let's see. The guy wanted us to steal something for him, a shiny object. She raises her hands. I know, it's stupid, right? But that was how the Johnson described it to us. The shiny object. That was what he wanted us to get. He never gave it any other name. I would have given it a name. Seriously? A rat shaman hires to see a shiny object? Yeah, you can see how the gig would be hard for us to resist. Jeez. Anyway, the client told us what to look for. He described it as a chunk of red jade about the size and shape of an ostrich egg, with a mirror-polished surface and gold wire inlays. He said that it had paper charms hanging off of it, food talismans, Taoist sorcery stuff. We weren't supposed to touch those. The client also told us that the shiny object's then owner, an old hedge wizard turned entrepreneur named Kong Shuiyan, And where was he supposed to be keeping the thing? So you were supposed to steal a crystal ball from a wizard, essentially. Last one. When you boil it down like that, it sounds kind of silly, doesn't it? She shrugs. But hey, that's the world we live in. And like I said, Shuyan wasn't just a wizard. He was an entrepreneur, a business wizard. The guy had resources. Okay. From what we were told, the old man was keeping the shiny object in one of his warehouses. He had a bunch of them. He'd built himself a nice little empire selling magical paraphernalia through puppet vendors in the Tae night market. Supposedly, a good fifth of the stalls in that place were on Shuyan's payroll. Yeah, what kind of magical paraphernalia are we talking about? No, magical objects, huh? You've got my attention. Okay. Got it. Keep going. I want to, but no. So we'd case the warehouses for a couple of nights before the run. You know, did some recon, took some notes. From what we've seen, we were pretty sure that Shuyan was keeping our payday in vault area. In a vault area at the very back of the building. Man. Security was pretty heavy, though. He was paying a local triad for protection, and he kept a lot of their boys on staff. Suri was the one who came up with the plan. We'd split up outside and enter the warehouse in two teams. Team A would create a diversion. Team B would hit the vault while security was looking the other way. We'd grab our payday, regroup, and get the hell out of there. Seems straightforward enough. How'd it work out? That's pretty much what I've done in your place. In my experience, splitting the group is almost always more trouble than it's worth. Bullshit! I always split my force in Shining Force. Okay. Okay. Seems straightforward enough. How'd it work out? Terrible. Oh, okay. Surprisingly well, up to a point. Team A, Hanu, and Egret circled around to the loading dock just like we'd planned. Why would you put the two shamans together? It's not like you can do a mega spell together. There's no combos. That's not this game. Okay. Sui and I waited by the service entrance. I mean, well, tabletop you could probably do it. Maybe. I mean, there's not like some kind of linked ability, but you know, chain reactions and all. Let's see. We didn't have to wait long. A couple of minutes in, we heard this ungodly crash, then another and another. As it turns out, Egret had rigged into Shuriyan's network of automated forklifts. She had 6 of them running amok in the loading dock, chasing down workers and crashing themselves into anything marked fragile. Sounds like a good time. Subtle. The next time we're on a run with a loading dock, remind me about the forklift trick. Subtle. I'm being sarcastic. Okay. It wasn't supposed to be subtle. She was making a distraction, remember? Honestly, Seattle, you need to start paying attention. You need to pay attention on being sarcastic. Anyway, Egret's distraction did what it was supposed to do. As Sui and I watched, most of the Triad guys got at the service entrance, abandoned their posts, and went hauling off toward the loading dock. A couple guys with baseball bats stayed behind, but we handled them easily enough. We slipped inside and made a beeline for the back of the warehouse, where the shiny object was supposed to be. I like how the two shamans who are rat shamans, who are stealing or who are picking up the shiny object. Let me guess. Something went wrong. You weren't kidding about this being a long story. No, let me guess. Something went wrong. No, actually. It was there, just like we thought it'd be. The door was open and everything. The shiny object was sitting there in a teak cradle, gleaming with reflective light. Just like the client had said, it had a ring of Taoist talismans hanging off of it like a grass skirt. The paper all crinkled with age. We didn't waste any time. I reached in and grabbed the thing. It felt strange through my gloves. The jade sort of pulsed, as if it had a heartbeat. I mean, Sui carried it. The Roman says I do, right? That sounds ominous. Yeah, tell me about it. I wanted to drop the thing, but it was our payday, so I slipped it into my satchel instead. I couldn't get the flap closed quickly enough. The package being secured... Oh, I see. I couldn't get the flap closed quickly enough. I was thinking that was a comma, but no, it's... I just gotta get it out of my hands. Hot potato. Okay. The package being secure, Sui and I turned to hightail it out of there. And then things went to shit. Did you run into more security? Worse. Old man's Suiyon himself was standing right there in front of us, larger than life, with sparks shooting out of his eyes. I'm guessing that when he heard the commotion in the loading dock, he'd come running, well, waddling, to make sure that his treasure was safe. And as it turns out, it wasn't, because I'd already stolen it. He looked displeased. He was an old man, and there were two of you. How much a threat could he be? Come on now. I'm a mage. I would never ask such a stupid question. What'd you do? What do you think we did? He had our backs to a wall. We lit the old bastard up. It was pretty epic, truth be told. Don't use that word like that. I hate it. This was the time... Actually, no. That phrase was used when I was in university, and this was not made when I was in university. Anywho. Spirit... Sorry, I was cracking my neck, because my neck sucks. Body sucks. Okay. Spirits were summoned, spells were discharged, the vault doors sealed behind Suiyon like something out of a movie. At one point, the old man leapt onto Sui's back and tried to bite his ear off. What the fuck? I won't bore you with a play-by-play of how the fight went down. In the end, we crushed him. Unfortunately, the fighting had caused some collateral damage. Uh-oh. The jewel got damaged. Or the Taoist markings, which isn't a good thing. At some point during our showdown with Suiyon, the control panel for the vault door must have eaten an arc of lightning or the blast of a powerball. It was toast, all black and melted, and neither of us could fix it. Oh, you were trapped inside because the door went down. So you were trapped in the vault. Yeah, that's about the size of it, and it was only a matter of time before the old man's remaining security guys found us in there. There was still one way out, a ventilation duct up high in the rafters, but it was too small for Sui to fit through. He was a troll after all. I had the shiny object, but if I left Sui there and security got to him, well, you do the math. So here's the conundrum. I've got our payday in my satchel. The team is split. It's inevitable that more Triad 49ers are going to find us, but we don't know when or how many. Egret and Hanu are holding their own in the loading dock, for now. I can stay with Sui to help fight off the inevitable wave of Triad 49ers, but we'll be badly outmatched. Like, badly. The odds of survival won't look good for either of us. If Egret weren't pinned down in the loading dock, she could probably get the vault door open. But in order to get to her, I'll have to leave Sui alone in the vault, which you're going to have to do. I mean, I would think. If Suiyon's reinforcements find Sui before I get back with Egret, well... or Shuyun's, I'm saying that incorrect. Sui Shuyun. She uses her thumb to draw a line across her neck. So that's the scenario, Seattle. Not a lot to work with, I know. Now tell me, what should I do? Stick with Sui, try to hold off security reinforcements until Hanu and Egret can free themselves up and come help. That could be forever. Well, you've got a dangerous magical artifact in your pouch, right? I think I'd try to use it. Oh, that's so stupid. Take the... Okay, so what was that? Take the gamble and go for Egret. It's the plan with the best chance of success. You got the payday in your pouch. I'd run, I'd have cut my losses, climbed it through the vent and bailed. You probably want to take the gamble. Could have done that, I guess. It might have worked. Of course, I could have gotten Sui gunned down in a bolt too, but in retrospect, that wouldn't have been a huge loss. So you didn't do that. Anyway, that wasn't what I did. I saw what I thought could be a wave. You used the stupid object, didn't you? I saw what I thought could be a way to save the day, so I went ahead and took it. I fished the shiny object out of my bag. You know, your payday. I still remember how the Taoist talismans that rigged the thing crinkled in my hands. I remember shrugging, saying, the hell with it. I put the thing in Sui's bare hands and told him to go nuts. It was almost like Sui had been waiting for me to pass him the thing. He seemed eager to take it. What the fudge? He hugged that chunk of rock in his chest like a newborn baby. Color swam from the stone, and something changed in his eyes. Then, old man Shuyun's 49ers breached the door, and Sui unleashed hell. She pauses, frowning, stops scratching Folly, and uses the hand to rub her eyes. I should have thought that's what she would do, because she would mess with crap. Because all these life lessons are of all her fuck-ups, so should have realized that. Here's the hand to rub her eyes. Why the heck would you use the same eye that you... Whatever. Finally, she turns back to you. A sour look pinches her features. What went down in that room? Well, I've only seen that kind of carnage a couple of times in my life, and I've been running the shadows for years. Those triad men were torn to scraps by the end of it. Don't think I'll ever forget the sounds that they made. Oh, golly. She clears her throat. That wasn't clearing her throat. That was me burping, obviously. Meh. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. I spent most of the fight huddled up in the corner for my own safety. What Suri let loose from the stone didn't seem terribly interested in discriminating between friend and foe. He died too? What do you mean by that? Did he summon hostile spirits or something? That's what I would have done. Why fight if you don't have to? Yeah, no. Top one. Something like that. Truth be told, I don't know what they were. Like I said, I was hiding. But he couldn't have done it without the shiny object. Not in a million years. Whatever they were, the rock brought them here. So what happened then? She shrugs. We waited for things to calm down in the vault and for the things to go slithering away. I think that Suri had some, limited control over them, which is why they didn't eat us. After they were gone, Suri gave me the shiny object back, I put it in the satchel, and we bailed. We collected the others on the way out. They were blissfully ignorant of what happened on the other side of the warehouse, and I didn't see a reason to change that. We hightailed it back to the docks and caught the first boat back to the sinking ship. Mission accomplished. Gobet looks away again, stares off into space. From what I'm told, people still avoid Suryan's warehouse like the plague. It's supposed to be haunted, even to this day. People who set foot in the building keep turning up dead. Oh, God. No. pretty sure I'm pretty sure I'm one of the only living people who knows why. Abruptly, her body language changes. Anyway, that's it. Lesson's over. If you got any questions, go ahead. Golbit, was there a point to this story? I'm trying to find a moral here. There was when I started telling it. I thought I was going to tell you to be comfortable with breaking the rules. I don't think I'm going to say that now, though. I'm not feeling it anymore. Why not? At least your team made it out of this run alive, yeah, and caused horrible, ill-fated choices for other people who decided to use that warehouse. They didn't stay that way for long. But let's leave that for next time, huh? I don't want to get into it just now. Can you tell me more about this sinking ship? Yeah, sure. The story's over, so we can get into it. I moved onto the sinking ship when I was just a kid. I think that I was 12, maybe 13 years old at the time. In the beginning, it was just me and a couple of rat shaman friends, Cadmus and Malvina. They were older, but they were always cool to me. Is it typical for groups of rat shamans to congregate like that? Not terribly, no. I mean, we have, what the heck am I touching? Remote controller. The switcher. Okay. The channel changer. Okay. Let's see. We have lodges, we have lodges, same as any other group of shamans. You can usually find a few of us hanging out in those. I guess that there was just something special about our little group. Or maybe about the sinking ship. We liked it. We felt at home there. Wrong button. Didn't hurt that the sinking ship was well stocked and provisioned when we found it either. And don't look at me like that. It was abandoned when we took it. Abandoned? There was a team of Shadowrunners that had lived on the thing before us, but they bid it on a job. Got it. Cat and Mal heard the knock of opportunity, and they claimed that raft for Rat in record time. Taking over the sinking ship wasn't an easy job, mind you. The previous owners had installed traps. Oh, that's not multiple things. Had installed traps by multiple. I mean, the scroll doesn't. The text doesn't scroll down. The previous owners had installed traps and automated defenses all over the raft. Cat had his hands full with those for a month. What kind of traps were we talking about? She shrugs. The usual stuff, explosions, pop turrets, that kind of thing. Cat and his sister, Yasmin, took care of most of it without too much trouble. Oh wait, there was another person? Okay. The biggest problems were the scuttling charges. The runners who built the raft had installed these explosives all along the perimeter that tripped the bottom out of the thing if it were ever seized by the police. The explosives were tricky to deal with. Cad was able to disarm them, but he had to leave them where they were. It was always just slightly uncomfortable, knowing that I was sleeping on top of a couple 100 pounds of dormant explosives. Yeah, I can't blame you there. She shrugs. Hey, like I said, it was free. There weren't really any rules to follow, which suited me fine. Malvina was sort of the leader of our little nest, but we never really listened to her. She was always trying to play the mom card, instill a sense of responsibility into us. It was cute. She did have a propensity for getting things done, though. I have to give her that. Anyway, after a few months, other people started showing up. Squatters, homeless people, Shadowrunners, and assorted crazies. As long as they stayed cool with us, we were cool to them. Eventually, it became a community. Imagine that.
Think you wound up squatting on the Defiance because of your time on the sinking ship? I don't know. Maybe. Never really thought about it before, but yeah, maybe. Corner of her mouth curls upward. I guess that I'm a water rat now. Oh, that's so weird. Let's take a break and come back to this later. Of course, like I said, it's a long story. Wait, I think we're at the end. So, was there anything else you wanted to talk about? That's it for now, Gobit. Thank you. Talk to you later. Hey, no, yeah. Oh, hey, Seattle. I'm sorry that this lesson wound up getting a little unfocused at the end. I'm not really sure what came over me. Happens to the best of us. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Truth be told, I don't know how many more of these lessons I could take. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Well, I still feel bad about it. So look. So look. Oh, no, that makes sense. I'm thinking more so hey. But yeah. So look. I'll make you a deal. Your next lesson will definitely be on point. And I'll tell you what it's about up front. No more question and answer sessions. How does that sound? Fine by me, Gobit. Catch you next time. She waves. Next time. Bum, bum, bum. Go down the hatch. Go down the hatch. You have to talk to Gunshow. And I have to drink some more water, which is already increasing my bladder again. Blech. You enter to find Wu stalking the floor silently. One hand held rigidly near his hip, the other flexing and unflexing again and again. When he notices you, he nods once and goes back to his caged panther routine. What the fuck? Okay. Stalking the floor silently, one hand held rigidly near his hip, the other flexing, like as if he had a dumbbell, but not really. What did you think about the last run? What do I think about it? Well, let me ponder that for a second. He begins ticking off items on his fingers. We crashed a fancy party, disturbed the who's who of the Hong Kong trio scene, and fought a vampire. Oh, and you were drinking blood for some stupid reason, and leaving fingerprints. I mean, like, he was cool with DNA in the liquid because it probably spat up back in it, but not the fingerprints DNA. Whatever. And maybe lip DNA. I don't really know. And in the end, we didn't even kill the damned vampire. We got a starlet fired for money. That was our big accomplishment. He shakes his head. Makes me miss the simplicity of being a cop. Also, my voice keeps changing. It's like I hit puberty again. Ugh. Freaking peaked at 12, damn it. Alright. Anyway, enough about that. Need anything else? That's not his voice. You're gonna wear a hole in that floor that way. Wu keeps pacing. Need something? Yeah, a drink. Looks like you could use one too. I need to know that you're not gonna go on a rampage soon. Are you gonna be okay? Yep, just trying to maintain. Pacing helps. I do like it when he has his glasses on. Been thinking about Josephine saying what she did to our family, what she did to Carter. His pace increases a bit, and his tusks just frown, or just his tusks jut forward slightly. Wow, that's not what I saw. Josephine saying, "Goddamn Josephine saying." We'll find a way to get her, Duncan. Good, because when we do, the old Duncan is coming out and play. Wu's eyes smolder. Here's what we do. We walk into saying headquarters and ask for the boss. When she comes down, it's not that easy, buddy. When she comes down, we grab her, take her somewhere quiet, and ask her why she had Carter and those runners killed. Find out what happened to Raymond. whether she's alive or dead. What happens next is up to her. Kidnap a member of the Hong Kong Executive Council while there's an APB out on us? I think the direct method will result in a quick death. Good thinking. Thanks, I'll consider it. Let's do the top one. It's bold. They'll never see it coming. This is the way to go. My way. Whoa, did you just say that? My way, Duncan? Now, where have I heard that before? What? My way? That's right. There's one way this is gonna go. He catches himself. Understanding appears in his eyes. Oh, crap. That's what Ray used to say. Raymond Black, our benevolent dictator. You even call him dictator, okay? No questioning his rules, no falling short of his expectations. It was his way or the wrong way. Or you get the full-on Raymond treatment. Raymond could be pretty harsh when we didn't live up to his standards. You fell on the wrong side of his rules more than once, or you get the full-on Raymond treatment. I didn't care to be on the receiving end of that, and I was more than once, that's for sure. You remember what happened a few years after we moved out of the squat and into his house? The thing with Double Tray and Lockjaw when he accused us of relapsing back into our old ways? Man, that was when Ray's authority finally got tested. His raspy baritone is tinged with satisfaction when I finally stood up to him. Yep, the way he handled that was part of the reason I eventually left. He just wouldn't listen. No, he could be pretty damn rigid, but then again, you both could be. He couldn't hear a word you were saying. I'd never seen him so angry. It was a sight to behold, that's for sure. I didn't listen, he didn't listen, then we butted heads, same as always. He smiles, but it's filled with regret. But that one was the worst. Good thing you were there to stop it. His face settles into an expression of resignation. Okay, Mr. Tae, we don't need to do things my way. No need for us to butt heads. He stretches, you can hear his joints crack. And on that note, I'm gonna have to ask you to clear out. It's been another long day. Except we're gonna be doing another run, motherfucker! You're in the feeling that they're all gonna be long days. Think this is bad. Try prison. Yeah, I hear ya. Later, Duncan. Catch you later, or catch you then, Insu. That's his voice. Okay, don't get stuck on. God, fucking frackin' son of a. Okay. Talked with everyone, and dear Lord, that took forever. It took freaking 2 hours. What the fuck? Okay, don't you just love that? Okay. Give me my money. Somebody did fuck that up. Okay, so he should be in here. Is she gone? Oh, she's not here. That's fascinating. Okay. What did I give his... I didn't pay... He was a mobster voice, right? Oh, no, that was the other guy. Was he similar sounding as the other guy? No, I don't know. I forget. Dr. Shane Young. Shane Young is busily puffing away on a foul-smelling cigar. His comlink in one hand, his eyes flash with anticipatory glee as he sees you. Such a... Dr. Shane Young greets you in the name of all producers. How'd the shindig go? I've got the information you wanted. Let me tell you about the night we had. You explain the night's events from start to finish. As you speak, Shen Yang's face grows ever more incredulous, until finally his mouth is left hanging halfway open. He slowly places the cigar in a nearby ashtray and shakes his head in disbelief. That has got to be one of the... I don't remember his voice. That's got to be one of the single strangest stories I've ever heard. Vampires in the Trid industry? What a nightmare. Can't believe you let that leech keep sucking on Neville. Big ace to have in his pocket. And what if she starts biting on other people? Actors and whatnot. Not an optimal outcome, but I guess it's okay. You got me, oh, okay. But I guess it's okay. You got me Wong, and that means his show's dead. All right, kid. I'll send payment to your Matrix drop. You earned it. Damn right I did. No. Glad to be able to help. Dr. Shen Yang is about to speak, but his comlink begins to buzz. Irritated, he answers it and switches to speaker mode. Yeah, who is it? What do you want? Oh, no. Hello, Shen Yang. I just wanted to let you know that I've released Penelope Wong from her contract. If you're still interested in her, she's all yours. Also, I hope your business is doing all right. I'd heard you'd had some problems with cash flow. If you need a loan, I'd be happy to help. Okay. Dr. Shen Yang eyes the image of Nevermore with deep suspicion. You don't sound too mad, Nev. What's the catch here anyway? You must have the next big thing lined up already. Oh, Doctor, there's no need for it. Do you want to know why I keep winning our little contests and you're always playing catch up? It's because you think people like Miss Wong actually matter. They don't. People like Miss Wong, not people who like Miss Wong. I had that misread. Stars are crafted, molded out of talent, yes, but ultimately constructed. With enough time and effort, anyone can be made into a star. It's just a question of manipulating public perception. Ain't that the truth? Okay. Not always, but mostly. Just like music. Unfortunately. And acting somewhat. Well, acting in movies, but I mean like acting. True acting. Theater. Anywho, maybe so, but I got her now. And your show's dead in the water without the star. What do you think of that, eh? I think I'm going to do what any good soap opera producer would do. Write her character out with a tragic death and bring on someone new. You labor under the misapprehension that viewers have loyalty. They don't. They have only appetite. As long as you chase stars like Wong, you will lose. Don't be afraid to think bigger, Doctor. Reach for the drama, not the dramatists. It's messed up. With that, Neverma hangs up on Dr. Shen Yang. Honestly, the reason why he will never die is because he can drink blood off of people, honestly. For the next 30 seconds, Dr. Shen Yang releases a stream of violently imaginative invectives at his phone. Even Shringler Bao looks taken aback at the ferocity of Shen Yang's anger and the inventiveness of the sexual positions that he describes. Jesus. Finally, he takes a deep breath and composes himself. That dirty little weasel! Insulting my creativity like that. The nerve! Go on, kid. We are done here. Thanks for all your help, but I gotta get going. I gotta talk to a guy about buying a bunch of snakes. Oh, Jesus, dude. God, you're so crazy. Freaking crazy dwarf. Okay, I want that money. Money, 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 give me the money. What is the money going to be? Can it be at least another 1,000 new yen? It probably won't, but I wish. Bum, bum. Oh, that's already set up. Oh, no, that's this. Hey, it is over 1,000. Good. Good working out there, kid. Here's the money I promised you. Dr. Shaney. I've got money, money. Oh, I need to read. God. Fuck, I don't want to read them. Okay, I'll be back. I need to use the restroom again. So the the top of my custom insole again is peeling off. That doesn't. So instead of doing glue, this time I did some adhesive bonding thing. And let me tell you, when you get it on yourself, it's annoying. Because it dries on you if you don't have yourself stuck onto something else. By the by. But anywho. Plug in my controller.
just in case. Let's read this crap quickly. Oh. Oh, we completed artifact liberation. Welcome to the Shadow Store. I've received a request from an oh, wait. Oh, are these supposed to be... Oh, these are old things. Sorry. Read your old messages. Oh, active jobs, active food. Review notes on completed jobs. Completed job offer from Isabel. The corner of Isabel pops on the screen. She stays in the camera, her eyes full of intensity. Oh, never mind. That's not what I thought. Okay, anywho. Back, BBS. That's... Oh, I just really don't want to read this. And you know what? Fuck it. I know I didn't want to read it last time, but we're not going to read it again. I don't care right now. Go back. It's so long, so many. Check your inbox. What time is it? Okay. Inbox to new messages. Auntie Chang and Josephine. Out of town. Data retrieval. Let's do this one. I'm good with. Hey, Seattle. I think I can add a little context to that thing between Auntie and Josephine Song. You know. You know, the thing that makes Auntie hit the sauce and take revenge and talk revenge. This a combo of stuff I heard and stuff I put together myself. How about this is a combo? So your mileage may vary. For years, the Yellow Lotus acted as tax collectors within the walled city. Since the walled city was built by Josephine Song, and the Yellow Lotus was run by Auntie Chang, they must have had a working business relationship, for a while at least. From what Nightjar told me, he was her favorite. You got that right. Auntie was known as a real up-and-comer back then. She was on the fast track to be the next Yellow Lotus 438. That's a big deal gig, Seattle. Money and power galore. Now, you need to know that there were a lot of triads and corps doing biz in the walled city. All sorts of stuff. Sometimes they work together nicely, and sometimes people get bloody. The way that I heard it, Auntie came up with some sort of grand plan to consolidate business in the walled city. The power would be split between the Yellow Lotus and Song's company. Song's company. And everyone else would get cut out. If her plan worked, Auntie would rise in the Lotus like nobody's business, and Josephine Song would make long bank. There was a catch, though. In order for the plan to work, both women would need to jump through a lot of hoops. There'd be street-level maneuvering and power plays on Auntie's side, and blackmail and negotiations on the corporate level from Josephine Song. My info gets sketchy here. From what I've pieced together, Song went behind Auntie's back and took her plan to her boss, a 4338 named Wong Lun Fat. They cut kindly out of her own plan. Why'd Song do that? My guess is that she saw Auntie as some sort of threat. People in the know say that Wong Lun Fat is weak and greedy. She can be manipulated if her palm remains well greased. Long story short, power was consolidated in the walled city.
just like Auntie planned. Only she didn't wind up getting any of it. Her climb up the Lotus ladder came to an abrupt halt. She's still a straw sandal, just like she was before Song backstabbed her, and now she's stuck in Haoi like a fly in amber. I'd be pissed too if it were me. Go back. Out of town. Let's see. Okay, that's why she's not here. I'm not in Haoi right now, so don't bother coming to see me. We'll talk when I return. Please continue with our business ventures in the meantime. Auntie C. Data retrieval. I hope you're enjoying your newfound success in the shadows. I've got another job for you, one that should prove very lucrative indeed. I've been contacted by an employee of the Eastern Tiger Company, and he needs you to steal some research data and biological samples from his employer. The man's name is Tagoth Wright. Is he a Wright? Until recently, he was a researcher on a genetic engineering project. He was cagey with the details, but I gather that it's centered around phenotypic alteration and postnatal genetic enhancement. I like how you know all this crap, lady. Unfortunately for Wright, he's got a conscience. Stupid man. Luckily for us, he's willing to pay to have his conscience assuaged. There we go. Wright's project was apparently quite horrible. Experiments on living children, total disregard for biomedical ethics or safety, and when Wright raised concerns, he was taken off the project. He's decided to step outside the bounds of the law and expose their wrongdoing for the world. The snag, you see, is that his wife and child live in Seoul. Not quite the heart of Eastern Tiger's power, but close enough. Yeah, what's Korea like? I'm curious. In this game's timeline. He's afraid that if he releases the information himself, they'll be taken prisoner and used as leverage. The idiot should have thought of that before, but that's not our problem. The samples and data are currently on an Eastern Tiger cargo ship, the MV Nalchi, sailing near Hong Kong on their way to Seoul. The storms slowed the ship down, so you don't have to go right away, but don't take too long. I've attached his number. He'll give you instructions on how he wants the information leaked. When you're ready, let me know. I'll arrange transit with Captain Jomo. He's a local Loho Joa pirate and smuggler, but don't let that put you off. He's as good as they get, and he'll have you on that ship without incident. Not right now. I'll deal with it while I'm out of the office, quote unquote. Okay. Let's do restaurant job. Okay, yeah, we have to bloody him up without... Oh, kidnap him. That's it. And keeping the run quiet. Take the run. I let the client know that you've accepted the job. By the time you arrive at the Shangri-La, the boat to get you out will be waiting. Frickin' damn it, I need to upgrade my spells. I don't like it. I especially need to do it for this one, to be quite honest. Tidiness. The whole place is covered in books, sprawled across the floor and piled high atop tables, chairs, and desks. The shopkeeper peers at you from behind a tower of loosely stacked text, her eyes red and weary. Hey, welcome back. I haven't seen you around lately. She sees you eyeing the paperback chaos. Ah, yes. Sorry for the mess. I've been real busy lately. What's with the mess, Crafty? Are you doing research? Crafty leans forward, strands of black and pink hair falling across her cheeks. Places a book on top of the pile before her. You could say that, her eyes narrow. Tell me, have you had the dreams? Sure have. You know something about them? Definitely, and more than one. Yeah, a lot of people are having, definitely more than one. She seems satisfied with your answer and lazily pushes a strand of hair behind her ear. My mother was an avid researcher of the walled city. We've established this lady. She kept extensive journals on her findings. Super for hand gestures to the entire shop. These dreams were having their commonplace in the walled city, but ever since it started leaking into Haoi, I felt something was wrong. According to my mother's judgment, I've started, against my better judgment, I thought we established you would, I've started reading her notes to see what I can learn about the dreams. I always thought her theories were just the ravings of a madwoman, but now she's leaned back and placed her hands behind her head for support. Well, the investigation is still underway, as you can see. I think you and I are interested in the same thing. Her eyes search your face. After a moment, she nods. Tell you what, if you can keep the investigation going on your end, I'll share what I've found. Two minds are always better than one, especially when it comes to dealing with something as abstract as dreams. Let me see what you're saying. Bam 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 bam. What's a spell focus? Additional magic has been channeled into the spell, causing the effect radius to increase. Its explosion does ongoing 7 HP damage for 2 rounds. Shares a cooldown with other fireball spells. 2, 4, 13, 3. 2, 4, 15, 2. I don't understand. Oh, the AoE is more. That's why. If I just had more money. Wait. What's my spell? Oh, it's level 1. You know what? I will buy... Flamethrower level 2. Oh, should I have heal wound level 1? God damn it. I think I do. Yeah. Fuck, I do. Okay. I didn't want to spend all my money, but gosh darn it. How much is level 1 healing? So what's the difference between heal wound level 1 and number 2? You know what I mean? Is it just have a shorter cooldown? No, cooldown is 3. Oh, that's what CD stands for. 2. Okay, it has a 1 shorter cooldown, that's why.
I'll come back to you. I just don't want to buy another spell here. What are you doing here, mysterious elf? Whose portrait doesn't match everyone else. The austere, refined-looking elf is browsing the shop's collection of talisman herbs and crystals. Noting your approach, he turns to face you. Good evening, my friend. I hope it's been a pleasant one. Mind your own business. I've had worse, I guess. It's pretty good so far. You? The elf cocks its head, considering the question. I have definitely had worse nights, without a doubt. As I suspect, have many who live here, as I suspect, have many who live here in Haoi. One need only look to the walled city to see how far into misery and squalor one can fall. Yeah, I didn't meet him here in previous, when I was playing on the computer, so I may not have talked that far into people or did a lot of runs. I don't know what I did wrong. I really do think doing the dreams, sleeping as an optional thing really speeds up the whole game. And I think that's why I screwed up, because I don't remember him being here. My name is Algernon Halfmoon, or Halfdream, sorry. Algernon Halfdream, and it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Algernon does not extend his head, but he does incline his head politely. It's not quite a bow, but almost. Don't sound like a local. No, I am not, I admit, though I have been to Hong Kong many times in the past. I was acquainted with Miao's mother, Eleanor. Algernon spares a moment to survey the shop. I must say, it's been kept in wonderful condition, if not improved somewhat. I can't quite place your accent. I have been traveling my entire life, and rarely stay in one locale for long. Locale has an E at the end. Anyway, it's not local, for one local for long. Anyway, I would consider nowhere, and everywhere, my home. When you speak as many languages as I do, it's inevitable that they begin to blend together, bleed together. Same difference. Though I've always had a particular fondness for Cantonese. It has a lyrical quality few other languages can match. You've been to the walled city? No. There's a leaden finality to Algernon's tone, and I didn't catch that. He pauses for a moment before elaborating. I have looked around outside and spoken to some residents who trade at the edge, but I have not entered it. The misery and hopelessness of those within it is overwhelming, and I would prefer not to venture too near such a well of negativity. But those emotions have colored and warped astral space in a unique fashion, one that I felt was worth studying, albeit from afar. He shakes his head sadly. Such a waste of human potential. To think of all of the ways the world and fate have failed those people. You've got some interesting eyes, Algernon. Do I? I've never really thought about them, to tell you the truth. They allow me to see, and there our relationship ends. Surely there must be many people in Haoi with interesting eyes. Cyber surgery is so common these days as to be almost routine. I bet they're not cyber surgery, buddy. Yours don't look like cyber eyes, though. Of course they don't. They are my natural eyes. A bit peculiar, I suppose, but no more so than dogs with the paralyzing howl, telepathic cats, or the occasional vampire. The modern world is full of unusual sights. You're not from the modern world, buddy. Don't try to claim otherwise. Are you a mage or a shaman? What makes you think I am either of them? Perhaps I am simply an inquisitive soul. Algernon smiles and gestures toward the racks of magical accessories on the wall. Of course, a merely inquisitive soul would not be interested in purchasing any of this. Perhaps I am both, or neither. The nature of magic is fluid. Oh man, are you going to pull out a gender fluid card here? Especially in these tumultuous times, as soon after the dragons have awoken. Too many people try to draw binary divisions. Oh my gosh, you are! That intersects one or the other. Divisions between methods of thaumaturgy. At the heart of things, there is will, there is power, and there is change. And also willpower. See you later, Algernon. Safe travels, my friend. Okay, stop. Yeah. I guess I'll talk with her. It's been a while. I'm not gonna buy anything from her. Shin is busily counting out cred sticks as you approach. Shin's hands move quickly, fingers deftly, sorting. I'm tired again. Why am I screwing up with H and lack of O's? I didn't screw up Shin's name. Sorting them into small plastic bins. The labels on the bins bear names. Steel Arm Lou, Grandfather Woe, Lucky Pig, and Kindly Check. Shin's eyes flicker up at you for a fraction of a second before returning to the task. One moment. Oh, shoot. One moment. I'll be done shortly. A few last flicks of the wrist see the final cred sticks sorted into the respective bin, with the lion's share going to Kindly and Steel Arm Lou. There. Now, what can I do for you? You pay a lot of dues to the Yellow Lotus? Shin shrugs, obviously indifferent to the amount the shop's being taxed. I do, but that's how the system works. I pay Kindly for rent, Steel Arm Lou gets money because he's my superior, Lucky Ping receives a finder's fee for goods she sends my way, and Grandfather Wu took me in. He gets paid because he's family, and I owe him for getting me out of the streets. Getting me off the streets. You join the organization. You have to pay the dues. It's the same as anywhere else, and it beats the hell out of being homeless in Kowloon. Stuffing the boxes away below the counter, Shin produces a box of assorted needles and inks and begins cataloging them on a battered PDA. You don't mind paying? Not really. Grandfather Wu saved my life by taking me in. So, and you know, I said Wu, it should be Woe, probably. Whoa, you know, taking me in, you know. Life expectancy for homeless kids in Aberdeen isn't very good. Because of him, I have skills and friends who will pay to make use of them. It's a good life, all things considered. Shin leans back against the stack of cages, causing the snakes within to hiss and snap at the glass. I'm just a blue lantern, a foot soldier. I answer to White Ming,
who I studied with on Wudong Mountain. He's the 49er, the made man who runs our crew. I don't pay him because he takes his own cut of what we make. Okay, show me what you have for sale that I'm not going to buy. Ooh, these are some interesting looking weapons that I have no money for. These would be pretty good for a certain samurai. Bam, 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 bam. Do I have a shuriken? I don't. Let me look. No, I have a throwing knife. I want it, but at the same time, I don't want to spend this money that I have. That's all for now, Shin. But I will need to get a shuriken. Why? Because I want to, even though I'm shit with my physical. You know what? I'm gonna call it here because I'm tired. I will save while talking to him. See if I want to buy anything. Because when I was with Shin, I didn't pay attention to see what my stash was like, because I'm a silly fool. Anywho, thank you all for joining me, or watching later on YouTube, or I guess later also on Life of PlayStation, because it's up there for a while, I guess. I don't know how long. Anywho, this has been DarkElf85 on YouTube, or HektontheMage here on PSN. Excuse me, oh my goodness. And this has been a game, Shadowrun Hong Kong Extended Edition. I hope you all have a... Damn it, I forget. Short-term memory. Gosh damn it. Yes. I hope you all have a good rest of the day, night, or anywhere in between. Stay safe out there, folks, and goodbye. Well, I will have to say, when I played Infinite Adventures, I forgot a lot. So, it's always good to double, triple check your saves. Okay, goodbye, folks.